All right, welcome to an all-new episode of FR Racing's Garage Talk. I'm DJ Fluck.
I am Eric Richardson.
And I'm Takato.
Yes, our social media specialist is here with us. Taka, welcome aboard.
Yeah,
And
welcome.
finally, people get, well, I mean, they saw your picture on our social media. We waited that was my fault. We waited what, six months to officially announce it, but now we get to see you and actually talk. So actually, you joined us for the endurance race the other weekend. You got up early and jumped on the Discord, so we heard your voice. But this is the first time that people get to see you.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's great not being behind a screen and just texting
Yeah.
stuff.
Yes, for those that don't know, Taka is the one who is tweeting during Wednesday Night Dash. You may think that because of how I drive, it would be me driving and tweeting. That is a valid observation, but that is not the case here. So, yes, the live tweeting our Wednesday Night Dash every week. There you go. That's who it is. So, jumping right in, the IndyCar season is over.
It's been an interesting season. I'll give you that.
I think this is the first time that I've watched it like wire to wire in a long time. I mean, I previous years I'd watch maybe like half or 2/3 of the races, but this is the first time I've invested time watching it. And we still need to kind of do our deep dive of what's going on. But I did see a stat today that NBC was happy because they actually had broken records for viewership. For the
Does that
IndyCar
include
series.
the Peacock or just NBC itself?
I didn't read the full story, but I saw the headline that they said they were, they broke records, whatever that means. And some of the results we were seeing, that they were allegedly having only like 500,000 viewers on like a Saturday afternoon in the middle of the summer. It's like you don't have football competing, you didn't have any NASCAR competing, or Sunday afternoon for the most part. I just like, they're celebrating, but are they really celebrating is my question. I think the answer to that is probably not. I think they've got a lot to figure out to get those ratings up.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun as we get into the off season here to kind of dive deeper into IndyCar and maybe offer some of our thoughts of what we're seeing.
I mean, the quality of racing has been good. I mean, I think it's a good quality product. I always, I'm love the open wheel driving. Alex Palou won this weekend. Will Power wins his second championship over Joseph Newgarden. So my prop bet for Newgarden just fell a bit short. So,
And congrats to Will Power. He's also liked some of our social media content.
he has. Yeah, that's cool. Really cool. So we'll try to get him on the show sometime, but
maybe a long shot.
But the season's over. I see some of the drivers are posting social media on vacation. I'm sure there's some kind of award ceremony for the end of the season. And we're gonna start hitting them up like, "Hey, come on our show, come on our show, come on our show." We'll see how that goes.
On some interesting things from season 2, Scott Dixon completing 100% of the laps again.
That is a mind-blowing stat.
I think it's like the first time that's been done, or first time in a very long time. I just saw it the other day and I don't remember the exact deal behind it.
Didn't he get caught speeding at the end of Indy this year?
Yeah,
he's
40 laps to go.
But he finished on the lead lap.
I don't recall, but I remember he sped right in front of us. We were sitting on pit road right by the timing stand.
He was running a flawless race up until that point, and then just threw it away.
When they announced the black flag, the crowd over the cars audibly goes, "Oh!" So I know it's not just that one mark, but he's gonna think about that one for a while, I think.
Well, yeah.
Oh, and how about Alex Palou re-signed?
Oh yeah,
he's Ganassi
after accusing them of making a fake quote on a press release for a contract he didn't sign, and that mess. And
I was a little shocked to see that one come through.
That I think it was more because he didn't have a choice. I think his from what I understand, he has representation in both the US and overseas, and somebody wasn't talking to somebody, and I don't know. I don't know how that works exactly. I'm not a lawyer. I don't pretend to be a lawyer. But yeah, he's back. Probably not because he wants to be, but
Yeah,
whatever.
we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I mean he's a good driver, obviously a past champion now.
And a race winner last week.
Maybe we see him in Formula One someday, maybe not. Or speaking of Formula One, so Eric, who won last week? I don't know. I mean,
It was somebody from like the Williams team, wasn't
was
it?
it? Well, I thought
It
it
was a
was
shocking winner.
Jax Verstappen. No, I'm just kidding. Max won again and again.
Hey, at least
and again,
your
and again.
favorite driver was second. Finally got back up there.
Wait, who finished?
Or third, one of the two. He's on the podium.
Leclerc.
Charles.
Oh, Charles Leclerc. Yes. I just like I've kind of gotten to the point where these races start typically at 6 a.m. Sunday morning, and I just like I want to watch it, but I'm gonna wake up at 6 a.m. just to see Max Verstappen win again. And like nothing against Max Verstappen. Like obviously, this guy's a generational driver. Like he's really good, but it's just like he won again and again. We looked it up before we hit record today. The last time somebody other than Max Verstappen won was July 20th. It's been a while.
Yep. I guess Ferrari decided to try 2 tires instead of 3, so it must have worked. Sorry, I had to do it.
3
Ferrari.
tires. Oh man, that's just.
You had one job.
There's 4 tires on your car. This isn't NASCAR. We don't change, one side. We do all 4. Like,
in
come
3
on,
seconds.
I'm not the most knowledgeable person out there by any means, but even I know that. Come on, guys. But anyway, we've got 6 races left on the schedule. Next race is Singapore. Max could theoretically clinch the title. He has to win and have the fastest lap, and Charles Leclerc has to finish, I think, like 9th or worse or something like that. I mean, it's possible. You have an incident.
Crazy.
You have an incident. You have a 3-tire pit stop again for Ferrari, even though it isn't him last time, but or like Monaco, where they try to double pit and mistime it.
Yeah, we've seen crazier things happen this year, and Max winning with 5 to go would be hey, I actually won it last year. It wasn't given to me.
Yeah, I mean, he's just going to be like, I'm going to clinch this thing now. It's going to be over and done. And the last 4 races are going to be pretty much meaningless. But Nick DeVries, man, he drove for Williams this weekend. Finished 9th.
2 points?
He got 2 points. Williams, that brings Williams to 6 points on the season. And
third of their total by a backup driver.
Yeah, yes, by a backup driver, and there's one driver with 5 points. Everyone else has 6 or more. So the entire Williams team is basically being outscored by every other driver in Formula One.
Well, maybe someday they'll get back up to where they were.
Poor Williams. They've become such a punchline. I mean, they do social media great. They do esports great. They just can't figure Formula One out for whatever.
No, I wonder if Ferrari was feeling bad for Williams and are trying to help him out a little bit, just to get him off the radar for a weekend.
Pulled a Williams.
It's gonna be the new thing. We're gonna see it on social media. Something happens, like, oh, they pulled a Williams.
No, but if they keep it up, they're gonna pull a Ferrari. Actually, I think it's kind of already becoming that. It's becoming a punchline with all the mistakes that Ferrari's made in either in the pits or strategy wise. NASCAR, Bubba Wallace. Bubba holds off his boss, and Bubba wins second career race, cup race. It's his first race that wasn't rain shortened. Wins a win, but still, good for him. Yeah, he had a great car. He was running really well, and you knew that, short of him making a mistake, he was probably going to win that race, and he held on. He looked really good this weekend.
Yeah, I can't say I'm a huge Bubba Wallace fan, but congrats to him. It's great to see 18 winners on the season. That's
18 winners.
When does that happen?
And the other thing too is Kurt Busch won the spring race, so the 45 car actually won. Swept Kansas with 2 different drivers. So crazy.
He good call by them by putting Bubba into that car to go after that manufacturers and owners championship.
Yeah,
points.
he's moved on. I think him and Christopher Bell are the only drivers that have qualified for the next round of the owners championship. So, yeah, good fun there.
Yeah, congrats to him.
And that reminds me, a while back when they announced the Chicago race, Bubba Wallace was at like the press conference, and someone on social media is like, "Why is Bubba Wallace there?" And somebody tweets, "Well, his boss is pretty famous in the city of Chicago." And somebody replied back immediately after that, "It's like, that's right. Everybody will remember Denny Hamlin's win at the 2015, Chicago Speedway race." Like, no, other boss.
Yeah, the
one with the
big guy.
statue, the guy with the big statue, or just down West Madison Street in Chicago there. But yeah, looking forward to Bristol. It's going to be a mess as usual. Nighttime
night race.
Night race brings out the tempers. Always fun. Looking forward to that.
If I ever get a chance to go to a Bristol race, this is the one I want to go to.
You know what I want to do? Actually, I don't know when we're going to be able to pull this off, but so a lot of our Wednesday night dash drivers, and this is a segue into Wednesday night dash, a lot of our drivers are actually in the Carolinas and the Virginia region. I think we need to go to the Coca-Cola 600 one year and have a meetup with the group, because almost everybody's there. We're, us and a few others, Caden and a few others are scattered elsewhere, but the rest of, everybody else is within a pretty short drive of Charlotte. And actually quite a few of them already go to the race every year.
Yeah. I mean, come fly into Michigan or somewhere, we'll pick you up and road trip on the way.
You know what? It's
hey,
hub
it's
to hub.
Work both ways, right?
It's hub to hub. I'm going to go right to Charlotte. Sorry.
Hey, I'm just trying to match the offering.
As I say, you can pick me up at the airport. I'll see you in Charlotte. But yeah, we're, no secret, but we're actually, I put in my info for tickets for the Las Vegas Grand Prix next year in November. And we're planning on going to that. I don't know what tickets are going to cost, but I'm going to that's right. I'm going to take my will-be 5-year-old twin daughters to Las Vegas for the weekend. What a responsible parent I am.
Hey, my newborn's going to stay with grandma and grandpa, and we're going to watch some F1 under the lights on the strip in Vegas.
We're going to rent a van.
Vegas, baby.
We're going to rent a van. We're going to make that 4.5-hour drive from Phoenix to Las Vegas. Probably stay in Henderson to stay away from the madness. But, looking forward to it. It's going to be chaos.
And we're going to do our best to not pull a hangover moment of our own.
I think that is overdone. That movie's going on, 14, 15 years now? Was it 2008?
It's a classic, though. I watched it way too much still.
Yeah, you know what? I put The Hangover on as my, I need some background noise. I will put The Hangover on. Hangover or Superbad are my movies of choice for that. But yeah,
earlier today I put on Top Gun, so.
But there were so many people that, I went to Vegas and for the first time in 2009. I went in 2010 with a friend of mine, and they're like, "Hey, I don't got a SIG on my beeper." Have you heard that one, Caesar's employee? I'm sure you have, probably 1,000 times today. But
always fun to see movie illustrations.
Vegas. Don't count your cards. It's frowned upon.
It is? Oops. I shouldn't have said that. Kidding. I don't do
it. There's, in The Hangover, there's another part to that line, but we try to keep this a somewhat family show. I will not repeat the next part of that line. If you haven't seen The Hangover, go watch it.
It's classic. Check it out.
Wednesday night dash. We were in Kansas tonight. Well, shoot. Wednesday night.
Man, yell at me one day and now I get to return that.
It's Wednesday. We're recording this on Wednesday. But yes, so Wednesday night we were at Kansas. Good race. Scott McCarris. Really yeah, it was a really good race. Scott McCarris, our Highline driver who jumped in and joined us this season. He had a bad week last week, and he jumped back in and finished over Tyler Vickery. Tyler finished second again. 2 weeks in a row he finished second. .099 between first and second place. And I wouldn't say it was a block per se, but Scott knew where Tyler was going on that run stretch, and he got down on the apron. I don't know if Scott was running on the apron or not. I was a little further back. And you had a rough night.
Yeah. Running with the leaders there, I was like P6 or something, and came off turn 2, caught the wall, got meatballed, then got called for speeding because I couldn't get the car slowed because I couldn't drive it. So sat around for a little bit. Then I
was wondering, like, I kept seeing on the dash, like the counter kept going up. I'm like, did Eric drop? I didn't see a disconnect alert.
No.
And then all of a sudden I see your car coming. I'm like, oh, there he is. He must have had a extended visit to the pits.
Yeah, got into the penalty box for a little bit. Then I was running along, just trying to kind of hang in there. Came out just right behind Tyler and was able to get some ground on him. So was able to stay 1 lap ahead. And then, I tried to game the field, stay out in front, take the wave around. I knew I had to push it. I had nothing to lose, and I got busted for speeding again. I think I probably still would have lost that lap had I not done it, but I would have had to been flying to catch up at the flag.
I noticed after we had gone green, you were coming out of the pits again. I'm like, what are you doing? I didn't see anything, but I was running top 5 tonight. I got bumped. We got into it was just a kind of slid up the track and just kind of bumped. I saved it, but the car was definitely harder to drive and it was slower. And I came around with about 10 to go or so and just kind of slid into the wall. And, my steering wheel, I was, holding onto the wheel and it was like this. I'm like, I'm going to need to pit.
Yeah, time to pit for some repairs. So lost a couple laps, but I was within about 8 or 9 seconds of fifth or sixth place. I finished 9th tonight. And I came out there with fresh tires and I was just hauling. I was getting past lead lap cars with pretty, the fresh tires, and just ran out of time. I think I was about 5 seconds back of that pack, but just like, man, if I would have just held on to it, I would have had another top 5 finish tonight. But and one of these days, I'm not going to make a silly mistake and actually put a race together. One day.
It's just the problem is, like, what I'm slower than everybody else. I've come to accept that. But if I've been staying clean, I'm still running top 5. And I just I put it together where it's like the first half is like, tonight it wasn't as bad, the first half. And then the second half, it's like, okay, I got it now. I figured this out. And I just need to figure it out sooner. And then I can keep up. I mean, with about 15, 18 laps to go, I was only 6 seconds off the lead. So it's like, it's coming together. It's just, it needs to come together sooner for me. And I don't know, it's I've been practicing. Maybe it's just, I'm not practicing. Maybe I need to do some AI racing. I don't know, but it's one of those things. One day it's just going to click, and it's going to click right away and we'll have a good race, but probably not next week.
And in my defense, I do prefer the IndyCars. That's where I put the majority of my time in. So I'm waiting for that season to come back around and hopefully see some improvement there.
We need to figure that schedule out soon, relatively soon. We put that kind of demo schedule together when we were voting between Indy and trucks, and we put a lot of road courses. It was like 3 or 4 road courses we put.
I think we did 3.
Because I know we did Long Beach, I know we did Indy Road, and I want to say we put Belle Isle in there as well. I purposely kept Laguna out because I hate that track. I do not want to ever step foot on that track ever again, but is what it is.
Yeah, I think we're trying to do that to somewhat match the actual IndyCar schedule, as they've gone so road course and street course heavy. They really only have 4 ovals on schedule now?
Texas, St. Louis, Iowa, and Indy. That is
and Iowa's double.
Yeah.
it's a shame too, because it's like Auto Club was pretty good in previous years. They put Phoenix in the iRacing IndyCar schedule. They put the 2022 Phoenix config on this season.
That is a lot of fun to drive.
And I don't know what the problem is, but they did a 3-year run in Phoenix a few years back, and the races were pretty good, I thought, but they were not well attended. And I don't know, maybe they look at the new Phoenix config, maybe they give it another shot. I would personally
see.
Personal bias, I would love that. I would be out there. Absolutely, I would be out there. I don't care.
No, I really think they started taking away the oval racing though after Dan Weldon's crash in Vegas.
It was Dan Weldon, and then you got
the Pocono crash. Texas was always really bad.
You had Robert
Wickens.
Robert Wickens, bad accident at, he still isn't walking yet. And Justin Wilson died from the flying debris at Pocono. I
think so much as just looking at the safety aspect.
Yeah, it
takes away good racing, but we do want to see the drivers safe. So it's a tough decision.
I mean, it's just like, you have Auto Club, you have Phoenix, you have Michigan that have been used previously, but I don't think they do Michigan and Detroit in the same year.
Yeah, I wouldn't complain.
I know you wouldn't. I mean, that's, you would love
be
that.
Within 3 hours of 4 of the races on the season. Okay.
Yeah, and Chicagoland was, I mean, who knows what the future of Chicagoland is? They've talked about ripping that down, but then it's like, no, we're just selling the land outside of the track. But Chicagoland hasn't seen any racing in a few years now. Those IndyCar races were always good. Those always had really close finishes. I mean, there are ovals that they could go back to. Remember when they used to race at Disney World?
Yeah.
It was like the Disney 200 or something like that back in the 90s. I wonder, is that track still around?
I don't believe so. If it is, I'm not sure exactly where it's at.
I mean, it's in it was in that Wide World of Sports complex, I think.
I've spent quite a bit of time down there with my wife being from Orlando, but I don't recall seeing it. It may just be at the wrong part of that area.
Let's see. Walt Disney World Speedway in Lake Bay. Yeah, the Indy 200 at Walt Disney World is what that was called. The other thing, though, is that even if that track still existed, oh yeah, it says was in the Walt Disney World Speedway in Bay Lake, Florida, closed in 2015. And let's see. Yeah, they just closed it. But I mean, now that ABC doesn't have the IndyCar series anymore, and the whole ABC Disney family, there's really no motivation to go back to Disney World.
Taka, I think you've been listening.
Yeah.
What are some of your thoughts on these things?
My thoughts are I should follow racing a little bit more other than F1.
And I mean, you saw the race tonight.
Yeah.
You saw you got a front row seat from the broadcast. Eric and I haven't seen the broadcast yet, so you're the only one here of the three of us that saw that. What did you see tonight?
I saw really good racing, really, really clean. I think out of all the Wednesday night dashes I've watched, I think tonight or Wednesday night here at where were we again?
I bet Kansas.
Oh,
yeah.
Sorry. Side note. One of the reasons that ended Walt Disney World was where Sam Schmidt got paralyzed in a crash.
Oh.
But they also said that was before the safer barrier was introduced, and they said that probably would have prevented it. Davy Jones broke his neck in a practice. 97 Eliseo Salazar fractured his lower back in a preseason test. Yeah, that sounds like that wasn't the safest of tracks. Yikes.
Anyway, safer barrier.
That was a game changer. And that
it was.
Anyway, so sorry, you were saying with
no worries. But really clean racing tonight at Kansas. It was I guess Wednesday night. Um, that last lap, I didn't think that McCarris would catch up to Tyler. It was just super close. Tyler hit the wall a couple times, and as soon as that happened, I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
here we
door
go.
open. I did
Yeah.
go back and watch the last lap because I heard Tyler go like, "You got to be kidding me," because he was leading most of the way tonight, and then
He was just phenomenal through the whole race. It just in the middle of the race during, I call it the caution lap interview. It was just
I saw your tweet pop up that they interviewed him during the competition caution.
yeah, the competition caution interview.
Kendall and I have been talking about that for a while, and just like, just never happened. But hey, awesome! Glad it happened today.
Yeah, it was really, really cool. And then it's also cool to have Chad come in and talk too. Just
Wednesday
having a
night
partner.
dash legend Chad Winstead.
Yeah.
Clean sweep.
Yeah. That was fun to watch him race when he didn't do the clean sweep. But I feel like a certain part of me feels
I
like
beat him in a recruiting race. I beat him. He got into a last lap incident at Talladega during one of the truck recruiting races. I'm like, and I finished third in that race, and I was like, yeah, I beat Chad.
Yeah, Chad's an awesome guy. He's so
Yes,
much fun
yes,
to
he
race
is.
with.
Oh yeah, he's so good too.
He's great. He
He's
always has good advice to give at the end of the race when he does the interview. But
give me some advice I needed.
yeah. But with him announcing, he talks about like the thought process and, oh, maybe this racer will do this. Oh, he's gonna go into the apron, and they don't. It was kind of funny. A certain part of me feels a little iffy with the competition caution interview, because like tonight, maybe it's announcers jinx, like, oh, what are you gonna do to keep the lead? Tire management and
announcer jinx.
yeah. And the more I've been kind of sitting here watching the races, the more I kind of believe the announcers jinx.
Yeah, well, he didn't interview me. There was no. Well, it's just I'm hoping, we get up to Talladega where it's a total crapshoot. Maybe we'll make my big push there this year. But
Oh, it'll be fun.
That's one of the big things we were going for with that caution, just to kind of bunch the field back up, get some fresh rubber, and
it has made
get that competition.
All the difference. There'll be no competition caution next week on the road course at Mid Ohio. It doesn't really make sense to do it. Just it's a minute 40 or a minute 30, minute 40 lap, depending on who you are. So, put a competition caution, you add like 8-9 minutes of caution laps. It's like, let's not do that.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting enough anyway.
Yeah, I need to work on the sensitivity of my brake. I put that mod on there to give it kind of a load cell type feel. It's obviously not a load cell on the G920. But it doesn't take much. Like, I like to rest my foot near the brake. I'm a 2-foot driver, as are most people, but I try to rest my left foot near the brake, and if I catch myself, I'll look and I'll see on the dash the little red line on the chart up a little bit. Oh, I'm resting it on the brake. It's so I need to up the sensitivity a little bit, that I can rest my foot near the brake without actually brake.
I'm going to be doing my best to not do a Dukes of Hazzard again.
That was great though.
That was a classic.
I'm not going to make any guarantees to the rest of the drivers of W&D, but if it happens, it happens. That's all I'm going to say.
Just a good old boy. We're going to do a quick, before we wrap up today, we're going to look at that reel and look at the analytics here.
Should I pull the General Lee paint scheme, just the orange? Should I just do that?
I think it'll be fun.
Oh man, after okay, so as of tonight of this taping, 21,973 views, 779 likes, 6 shares, and 27 saves. That's our second most liked reel ever, or second most viewed reel ever.
the first most viewed is also another Eric incident where he got taken out at Indy a while back. What was
I
that?
promise I'm
August
not
1st.
this bad of a driver. I
Well,
have
I
won
mean,
races.
Yeah, you have. I have not won a race. I've finished second a few times. I have never won a race outside of a small hosted session.
I think I've had
And
what, 5 or
Indy,
6?
and in Indy too. I mean, that was, the narrowest part of the racetrack. You got a guy who lost it, who just veered right into the side of you. You had nowhere to go. And somebody even commented like, "Well, that looks like a lack of skill problem." I'm like, where exactly was he gonna go? He can't brake because there was somebody right behind you. They would have
Yeah, it's
slammed
gonna
it.
get lit up.
Yeah, they would have slammed into the back of you. You can clearly see in the replay that there's somebody behind you. You could try to swerve.
Basically try to gun it and pray.
Yeah, and it didn't work. And
yeah, if I go the other way, it's
you're in the
probably
wall.
gonna spin.
Yeah, it's just there was nowhere to go. Like absolutely nowhere to go.
Yeah, I think I've had 5 or 6 unranked race wins at least, and then I have IndyCar win at New Hampshire.
Yeah, and New Hampshire, that was still
That's
one
a
of
tough
our
track.
But the way you drove that event, like everybody else was fighting behind you, and you're just running away with it. Like you ran pretty much a flawless race. Did you lead every single lap?
Yes.
Yeah, you walk into Class C fixed IndyCar, lead every single lap at a tough track, and people were like complimenting you at the end, like, "Man, you had a killer run."
Guy who got second was like, "I thought you were gonna blow up your tires, and I was gonna catch you, but man, you were flying."
I mean, you had it figured out. It was an awesome run. It's
I
out there.
learned
Go
that track
back
in
one.
about a week.
That's
all I
my
had on it.
problem right now. Is I need to do a better job learning these tracks, and I'm not. On that note, it's late. It is really Wednesday night, even though this is Friday, and you're watching this on prime time Friday night. Appreciate you watching. So Taka, thank you for coming in and joining us tonight.
Thanks for having me.
With your blurred background, it looks like you're in a are you in like a panic room or something?
Yeah, you don't see the padding on the walls. So it's crazy college student. Just
Hey, Eric, you still need to.
Oh, something going on there.
Yeah, my watch kind of went off. It's a little embarrassing.
How many languages are you fluent in?
I'm fluent in 2, and I speak broken German.
Broken German. That's much better than I can say. I speak a little broken Spanish, and that's about it.
Do I even consider English, or am I still broken English?
You speak American.
Yeah, I got the American English.
I mean,
I speak partial Old English.
Well, people make that joke. It's like, you're speaking English. It's like, no, American English and British English are 2 completely different things.
Yeah,
like,
they're not the same.
Yeah, like people say, "Oh, you speak American," and it's like, yeah, I mean, American English. When you go into any other part of the English speaking world, everyone knows you are from America the moment you open your mouth.
Yep.
Not necessarily because you said something stupid, but because of how you said it, how you speak, your dialect, and everyone in America sounds like this. It ain't too far from the truth.
Yeah, this is true.
I'll vouch for that coming from Japan.
Yes. So that was probably a culture shock for you coming over. And it's like, it doesn't matter where you go in this country. It's like, oh, I'm going to go to California. I'm going to go to, Scottsdale, Phoenix. I'm going to go to, it doesn't matter. There's plenty of people that sound like this when you talk to them. It is true.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll find those people.
Usually no, I'm not going to say it. I'm not saying it. I don't want to, hurt any future sponsorship opportunities, making fun of future potential sponsors. So I'm going to on that note, I'm just going to shut up. So frracing.com, at frracing online on all the social medias and the streaming platforms. Wednesday Night Dash will be back next week at 10:15 p.m. Eastern time, Mid-Ohio, our lone road course.
It'll be fun.
Let's see how it goes.
It will be. Thanks for watching.
Thank y'all.
And listening to.